Hello everyone and welcome to another video. At this point everyone knows that the Steam Deck is a very capable handheld gaming PC, but there's no denying that some games are definitely better suited for the system than others. This is why today I want to show you some of the, in my opinion, best games to play on the Steam Deck. Enjoy! It goes without saying that all the games I will feature today are Steam Deck verified, so they will work right from the get-go. I also want to feature games that run without compromise on the system, that can manage 60 FPS, that don't drain your battery life rapidly, and that translate seamlessly to handheld gameplay. And I would like to start with Gunfire Reborn. This is a roguelite first-person shooter with cel-shaded low-poly graphics. The gameplay loop consists of 1 to 4 players fighting their way to the end of randomly generated stages to defeat a boss at the end. There are several weapons, upgrades, and most importantly, characters to unlock, giving the game a bit of an addictive nature. The game runs exceptionally well on the system and can even be played in desktop mode at 1080p. Stardew Valley. A bit of an obvious choice really. Ever since it launched in 2016, this farming simulator has mesmerized millions of players on all major platforms. But of course, Stardew Valley is not just a farming sim, it offers a ton of features and content for hundreds of hours. Best of all, it works perfectly for small little 15-minute sessions on the go. Dredge. This is a story-driven fishing RPG with a very dark undertone. It has a wonderful art style and unique gameplay which consists of exploring the world with your fishing trawler, doing quests for the locals and unraveling the game's mysteries as you go. It too works really well for short play sessions. Also, you might want to know that while Dredge can be a bit unsettling at times, especially when you're out fishing in the night where all of the creepy things are starting to happen, it is not a full-blown horror game. In case horror is exactly what you were hoping for, look no further than Darkwood. This is a top-down survival horror game where you have to survive the night by making traps and weapons and exploring the environment. The days are short, so you have to plan out every single move and make sure you don't find yourselves in the open after sundown, where many hideous creatures are hiding just out of sight of your very limited POV. Darkwood has spectacular sound design. Headphones are seriously recommended when playing this game. Salt and Sanctuary. This one is a 2D action RPG that borrows more than a few things from Dark Souls. It is combat heavy and absolutely unforgiving. The different classes you can try really make this a game worth replaying, but the best part is easily the challenging boss fights. If you like difficult games, this should be right up your alley. On a side note, the chef is clearly the best class in the game. Project Warlock. I've only recently finished this game and I will say it is one of my favorite first-person shooters to play on the deck. It's a roguelite, heavily inspired by 90s shooters, the pixelated graphics look beautiful and the gunplay is really satisfying. But there's also melee and magical weapons that you collect throughout your playthrough. There are some RPG elements, for instance you can upgrade your weapons and also your character stats, but for the most part it is a very straightforward old school shooter that you can easily jump in and out of in handheld mode. If you like Project Warlock, you will absolutely love Dusk. This is another 90s inspired shooter with an exceptionally good campaign that spans over 3 chapters with a lot of secrets and Easter eggs to discover. The game also features an endless wave mode, which I think is a great addition. I've actually made a review of this game a while back, so if you would like to find out more about it, make sure to check it out. Hades, one of my all-time favorites and a spectacular pick for the Steam Deck specifically. In this award-winning roguelite you try to escape the underworld and reach Mount Olympus as Zagreus, son of Hades. When you die, you start over from the beginning, as it is typical for a roguelite. But you never really feel like you're lacking progress, because the game's rich story continues on even when you die prematurely, and it keeps you engrossed for so many hours. If it wasn't for the story, I think the game could get a little repetitive, but because the game does such a great job at acknowledging your previous attempts, it makes you feel like you're always moving forward, and that makes it very addicting. If you are new to the genre, this is probably the best game to start out with. Hollow Knight. There's a lot of amazing 2D platformers and Metroidvanias out there, but I think that Hollow Knight has become an icon unlike any other. It's a tragic tale set in the ruins of a lost civilization with tough combat and challenging platforming that will keep you amazed from the beginning to the end. Definitely play this game. But I couldn't possibly make a video like this without mentioning another Metroidvania that I hold very close to my heart, Ori and the Blind Forest. Personally, I think of this visually breathtaking platformer as one of the best games ever made. Not only is it complete eye candy, but the platforming is unlike anything out there. It is not as combat focused as Hollow Knight, but both of them are absolute masters of the genre in their own right. And of course, playing in handheld mode on the Steam Deck using the D-pad is just flawless. This list is not meant to be in any particular order, but if I was to pick personal favorites, it would be these two without a doubt. Brotato is a top-down shooter slash roguelite where you play a potato wielding up to 6 weapons at a time to fight off hordes of aliens. It is a strange, simple and yet very addictive game that works great for the Steam Deck, especially in handheld mode. It's also one of the cheapest games on the list, costing only €5, so there's no reason not to give it a try. But there's one more game, very similar to Brotato, that managed to completely dominate the Steam charts for a long period of time. I am of course talking about Vampire Survivors. This is a top-down idle roguelite with very simple pixel graphics that for some reason manages to take a grasp of you like not many games can. It's the perfect balance of active and idle gameplay, and we have since seen many similar games on Steam due to its massive popularity. They even just recently added local co-op, making this a must-buy for every Steam Deck owner. And there you have it, some of the best games to play on your Steam Deck. Naturally, there are many more titles to choose from out there, so if you would like to share some of your favorites, feel free to leave a comment below. One thing that I focused on when I made this list is performance, so I limited myself in terms of graphics and scale. This is why you saw a lot of indie games. However, I would like to make a separate list with demanding games that run surprisingly well on the Steam Deck, provided you guys would like to see something like this. For now, thank you very much for watching, and of course, have a wonderful day.